Shalom, I'm Gideon Ariel, and we're pre-recording this meeting from the offices of the Steinsaltz Center in Jerusalem. Of course, I'm from Root Source. I'm sitting here together with Rabbi Meni Yisrael, who is the executive director of the Steinsaltz Center. Did I get that right, Rabbi Meni?
Absolutely. That is the correct name and title. Imagine that. It's a hard work. A lot of words there.
So we're here to get together today to celebrate the launch of the cooperation between Root Source and the Steinsaltz Center. So first, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Steinsaltz Center?
Sure. The Steinsaltz Center was built originally under a different name in 1963. Actually, the Israeli government...
I was also built in 1963 under a different name.
Yeah, nice. So actually, the Israeli government was actually the one to establish the original nonprofit who ran. Then there was the Israel Institute of Talmudic Publication, and we
remember that on Ma'aravim Street.
Right, Ma'aravim Street, really down the street over there. Yeah, absolutely. So for the last 60 years almost, our job is to take the ancient Jewish text.
You're looking good for us, 80-year-old.
Absolutely, look at me, very, very fresh. It's the Bible meat. Yeah. So we started in 1963, and the idea was that then the access to the Jewish canon, or we call the Jewish canon, which is including the Bible, the Mishnah, the Talmud, the Rambam, and the Tanya, all of them were very far away and will not be able to reach them as much as we like today, because the modern concept of reading text in your own language was gone for 1,000 years. The original text is in Aramaic or other languages, and the idea is to make it accessible, light, and readable.
But there already were translations of the Bible into English.
Right, absolutely. The difference was, I think, and the most important thing about this particular translation of the Bible, which is newer than 1963, was actually published in, I think, 2016, is a difference. The difference is that a lot of the translators have the need, or wanted to have the need, to speak a very high language, which made the actual text unattainable and unreachable, archaic and very uncomfortable, and a lot of them didn't have the courage to make a statement. Listen, this word doesn't make sense here. You cannot use this word, even though it was traditionally we translate in A, it doesn't make sense. My father, may rest in peace, being who he was, genius and a great scholar, had the courage and ability to bring all the traditional Jewish commentators throughout the years and make one line from them that will be this line will illuminate the text in a very modern language. So therefore, if you look in the original Hebrew translation of the Bible, even though it was written in Hebrew, it's really opening the gate to fluid reading. My father's agenda, which is obviously the organization agenda, is that you should not feel the translator or the commentator. The fluidity of the text is what we consider the most important and most lofty goal of them all. So the way we did it is basically it's all in the text. It's readable, it's accessible, and more so, I think people who read it realize it's really English. It's not religious English, it's not archaic English, it's modern English, and the vocabulary is outstanding.
So you're saying that the book of books is finally going to be a book?
Yeah, be a book. I mean, again, I if you might as well, if you read science fiction before you go to bed, or a novel, might as well read the Bible. It has all these things inside. Everything you want from, if it's fighting, addiction, relationship, fighting in the family, everything you want. It's in this book. Humor, a lot of humor. We know that the most humorous book, of course, is Job. I mean, because they can't understand it in any language, even with translation, still.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. So read it.
So your father, Rabbi Adin Even Yisrael Steinsaltz, he originally, when was he born?
He was born in 1937. Still, when Israel still had the mandate, the English mandate, to run this place. He was born here, literally 5 minutes away from this location. Grew up and raised him all his life. And
when did he realize that what was important for him was to make the Bible and other parts of the Jewish canon available to the world?
Very early. We were debating if it was when he was 19 or early 20s. Clearly, he realized there's a mission here. There's something that needs to be done about it because the accessibility, with the respect to the greater world, our own people are forgetting how to use it. The book becomes unreachable, become old, become more archaic. And of course, when you live in Israel or live anywhere, the religious part of it might have influence on your relationship because you're religious people and there's no separation of church and state in Israel. You have a lot of issues that deterring people from learning it openly and take ownership of the book. When my father finished the Talmud in 2010, the translation of the Hebrew Talmud, we approached him and asked, okay, what's the next project?
When did he start that translation?
1963.
That's 50 years or
Took him
so.
almost 50 years, yeah, because again, it was, for the most part, it was one-man operation. Only later it became more of a team effort, but there was a lot of issues, and he took many other projects on. Part of the problem is that apparently everybody's ADD in the world, but he just did it in a very larger magnitude. He had operation in Russia, had operation in America, had operation in yeshivot, and he has even at the art school for a while, which is again, it's very, very broad horizon of what the man was and what he thought about. So when he finished in 2010, actually it was beginning of 2010, I came to him and said, okay, now what? Normal people, after they finish really a life achievement, translating the Talmud is a big deal.
Now he gets to play with his grandchildren.
Right, exactly. Playing Scrabble and smoking, whatever. So I came in and asked him, so what are you going to do? So he said, suggest me some other projects. So I came up, I said, with Mishnah, with Rambam, with Tanakh, with Bible, with Tanakh. He said, okay, we'll do them all. and in this almost 6.5 years before he had a stroke, he really managed to accomplish all of this, which is outstanding. I mean, he literally gave 929 classes on Bible, some of them only in Hebrew, some of them only in English, but that's what he did, which is outstanding. He finished a commentary on the Mishnah, even though it was not published yet, but it's on process. He got 10 of his top students to do the commentary on the Maimonides work, and he just supervised everything and whatever works, comments, and etc. So, and on top of it, he traveled around the world, and etc. So that is the way it's done, and we believe that now the next stage is, of course, to take whatever information we have and disseminate it outside. Let as many people as we can to approach it, to access it, to learn from it. We estimate today, as of today, I mean, this estimate's being changed constantly, that we have over 3,000 hours of video recording, Rabbi Steinsaltz.
English and Hebrew.
English and Hebrew, again, obviously majority of them in Hebrew, but these quantities of English. There's something about audio files. We're talking about close to 10,000 hours of audio when the man spoke. We have thousands and thousands of articles. Again, some of them are repetitive, of course, by the nature of the beast, but they're really talking about almost about any topic. The man had, I think that, if I may, the biggest deal is that he wants the Torah, the Word of God, to be a live text. So therefore, we need to approach everything with it. It's not only the dead text of the old people. We need to live with the text, we live with the time. So, when we read the Torah portion of the week, which is about the spies and the notion of the people and the fear of the people, we have to look on it today in maybe different view. Where they were wrong, maybe they were right. I mean, it's terrifying. You come into a new place, everybody is big and huge, and you are little pathetic people sitting in the desert all this time. And don't forget, they were always slaves. The mentality of a slave is that to take a new approach, to outsource yourself, to jump out of your skin. So it's very, very hard to do. That's called slave mentality. And you want these people to conquer a land. What do we expect from them? Obviously, we hope that when God talked to you, and Moses, as his representative on earth, tell you, move, do, you will believe him. But it's very hard, as we know, the impact of magic / miracles is a very short-lived impact.
Right.
We know it from the most famous story in the Bible. God revealed himself for the first time in history to the entire nation of Jewish people. And he does it magnificently, right? The world is quiet, there's no birds, there's fireworks, there's smoke, there's lava, whatever you want. How long will it last? Nothing. Immediately after that, they approach to idol worship, even though the first commandment was, don't hate this. And I think that's the big deal. The big deal is to my father insists. That's the reason the process we did to implement to get people to translate this text from my father's words in Hebrew under his supervision was to find people who speak English well and speak modern English. So young people or even older people can actually read the text, and I recommend even to go sleep with it. I mean, why this is less than any other book? To enjoy it, and if you have to go sleep, if you fall asleep, good. So you fall asleep on the Bible. It's a good thing.
Today we're launching the courses, the series of Rabbi Steinsaltz. For me, it's really amazing because I had been a student of Rabbi Steinsaltz, not a number one student, but I was very lucky to have lived in Israel when he was here, and I even worked for a short time in one of his institutions. And I had some time also personally, and also be able to sit and to listen to some of his lessons. This is the first time I understand that some of Rabbi Steinsaltz's actual lectures in English are going to be on the internet, open for everybody to see.
Right. I mean, we have obviously some of the classes available in other topics, but yes, on Bible, this is the first time the Bible class will be available, and we actually choose the specific website, yours humbly, root source, just for the sake of, because it's not only approaching the Jewish people, Jewish community. It's true, I can put it in YouTube and there's an impact to some degree.
Sure.
But the fact that we have a designated website that can bring followers and bring people into this and approach it from a more devout perspective is something that we're really happy about. No, it's hopefully in the future we'll have it in many other places and many other locations, and we're going to grow and make it amazing. And I think it's will be an amazing experience together.
So much is happening in the world, of course, but this idea of Christians and Jews respectfully having coordination and cooperation is something that I'm very blessed to be able to do. Root Source has been around now for almost a decade, and the responsibility of taking Rabbi Steinsaltz's stuff and put it up on our site is really humbling, as you said, and we're looking forward to getting much more content. We'll open up some of these desk drawers and find another CD.
That's the reason they lie. But yeah, it's our pleasure, and really we're looking forward for it in any way, shape, or form to participate, to take more of a bigger role, smaller role, but really we hope to enjoy this cooperation properly.
We're looking forward to our students interacting with us. That's very important, and we'll send them your way.
Absolutely, and we make ourselves available.
Toda rabah.
All right.
Shalom, shalom.